fans of the Mighty Saints, I'm back for a midweek instalment because us vloggers have been a bit quiet during the week, recovering from our game against Pompey on Sunday, which, well, beforehand we would have settled for a draw, but having seen Adam Armstrong miss 3 sitters, good work by the goalkeeper however, and of course an equaliser that was a handball, I really do feel like we should have won the match. There's also other vlogs that show that a trip to the Pompey game was quite an experience, and lots of drawn out travelling was had, and also on the way back apparently. If you go onto YouTube, and I suppose if you put in a search for Southampton FC vloggers, you'll find some interesting stuff. Tonder Eckert today had his press conference, and obviously with the transfer window coming to an end, he feels, and what that actually means is that Johannes Spors feels that squad reduction is the policy they're aiming for, and they're in the process of doing that, but we know what players they want, or we want them to actually get rid of, that are costing us a fortune on the wage bill. Joe Aribo is one, and maybe Samuel Edozie, I don't know, maybe he's injured, I don't know. Either way, those are players that are automatic offloads. Maybe a mutual agreement in regards to severance of contract with Joe Aribo might be the most appropriate way to get him off the wage bill. But I don't know what's going on behind the scenes regarding, contracts and agents and solicitors. But that may enable us to get someone in before the end of the transfer window. But that's not going to happen, is it? Let's face it. However, we did get James Bree back. And wasn't he good against Portsmouth? I tell you, it made me wonder, why the hell did they get rid of him to Charlton in the first place? He's one of our best players. It's quite clear to see he's one of our best players, and he stood out for me against Portsmouth. Tonda says we've got 96% availability. I'm just hoping that 4% isn't Leo Cienza. Better than the previous one.
Huh?
Better than the previous one.
Could have gone either way.
And you know who Leo Cienza is now, don't you?
Huh?
You know who Leo Cienza is now?
No, don't. Who is that picture?
He scored against you, for God's sake.
What, he scored again?
Yeah, on Sunday.
Oh, and he scored again?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I wouldn't know who he is.
Well, no, not initially, but it's
No.
just a weird that I'd said, oh, he's going to score against you tomorrow, and he did.
Video setting light to the picture.
Yeah. Who was nursing a groin injury during the match. Obviously, Ross Stewart and Shay Charles are also coming back from injury, and Shay Charles is a bit of a worry for me because I've heard rumours that he's had a bit of a setback. But I spoke to Football Martin, who's in the know, and he thinks that Cienza has got an injury, but he may be in the side against Stoke on Saturday. Adam Armstrong's position at the club is still uncertain, but I think if he's going to go maybe on the last day, and I think he's going to be available for the game against Stoke. But in the question that was asked to him, he sort of politically dodged the answer. That was a Tonda, I mean. And the feelings about failing to win a winnable game against Pompey, who had a depleted squad, and were the feelings that Tonda gave us, he sort of turned it into a creditable point. Well, it was a point, and, like I say, before the game we would have all settled for that. He's aiming for winning games by 1 goal. Which for me is always a little bit like flirting with a potential last-minute equaliser, which is something we seem to have a habit of conceding even before Tonda Eckert. On the subject of James Bree, Tonda wants to keep him, so I'm hoping that Johannes wants to keep him and that James wants to stay with the club for the rest of this season at least. But yeah, I still wonder why on earth he was loaned out in the first place. And the other thing I thought, well, Adam Blackburn was asking the questions, and I just wish he'd asked the question, and if you're watching this, Adam, which he won't be, ask the question, why haven't we got a set piece coach? I mean, why are we always letting in goals from corners? Virtually, it seems to be the gift of every match apart from the Sheffield United game. It's costing us so many points this season. But the question wasn't asked, so therefore wasn't answered. My hopeful lineup against Stoke on Saturday is as follows. Well, it's going to be Daniel Peretz in goals. We haven't got really much choice on that score. Jamesbury has got to start. He's got to start a right back with Jack Stevens, who had a fantastic game against Portsmouth, and Harwood Bellis in the middle. And it's got to be four at the back, isn't it? And Wellington on the left if Cienza is fit. So I'm going to put this hopeful lineup with a view to Cienza being fit to start the game. Tom Fellows on the right of midfield with Yander Charles. He's got to be back if he's fit, isn't he? Downs and Cienza across there with Ross Stewart up front, starting up front, hasten to point out, because he has been really good. He just needs a goal, doesn't he? I think he's going to get one. But like I say, if Cienza is not in that lineup, I would probably look at altering that left-hand side, having a Matsky in there somewhere, probably in Cienza's spot, and maybe, I don't know, who's going to play a left-back? Manning? I don't know. But that's the lineup, if everybody's fit and ready to go, that I'd like to see Tonda play on Saturday. I'll hold back on the predicted lineup maybe later in the week, because obviously if we do have injuries that they haven't quite reported yet, then I can't really predict a lineup that's got those injured players in it. So now on to my usual feature of the history of the team we're playing next. Stoke City. I didn't do one on Pompey because we all know who Pompey are, don't we? And we all know also that Southampton Football Club were formed before them. Though some say that the game was played in Stoke as early as 1863, Stoke Ramblers officially formed in 1868 when Henry Almond, a former Charterhouse student, founded the club after starting work at North Staffordshire Railway Company. The team's first match was in October 1968 against E.W. Mayside, with Almond serving as captain and scoring their inaugural goal. Their first away match, played under association rules, took place at Congleton in December 1868. Initially based at the Victoria Cricket Club ground, they moved to Sweetings Field in 1875 due to increasing crowds. In 1870, Stoke Football Club dropped Ramblers from its name and aligned with Stoke Victoria Cricket Club, sharing facilities at the Victoria ground. Around this time, they adopted their red and white striped kit and became professional in August 1885. Stoke, a founding member of the Football League in 1888, struggled initially and was not re-elected after finishing last twice. They joined and won the Football Alliance, then returned to the league, spending 15 seasons in the First Division, reaching the 1898-99 FA Cup final. Relegated in 1907 due to financial issues, Stoke later went bankrupt and played in non-league competitions until World War I suspended football. And in 1915 they were re-elected to the Second Division. When football recommenced in August 1919, Stoke was back in the league. In 1919 the club acquired the Victoria ground and built the Butler Street Stand, boosting capacity to 50,000. After Stoke-on-Trent gained city status in 1925, the club was renamed Stoke City Football Club. And we play them on Saturday. We also have a player who played for both clubs, Peter Crouch. Obviously, he doesn't play for either club now because he's retired. But and there was a few. So if you can think, just for fun, drop it in the comments box. Players that have played for Stoke and for Southampton. A little bit of fun. So I may be back later in the week to discuss the proposed or predicted lineup for the weekend. I will say that I'm working on Saturday. I'm filming in East Cowes. I'm hoping to pick up the match audibly through my earphones from about 3:30 onwards, and we'll hopefully drop in a couple of TikToks maybe on the day. But if you could please like and subscribe to this channel, it will inspire me to do more. And also, once I've hit this 100 subscribers, I'm going to do lives, like watch-alongs and things like that. But for those that you are subscribed and already know of me and always come and say hello to me at football matches, of which I'm running out of now. I'm going to the Leicester Cup game though. They're cheap, aren't they? The FA Cup tickets, £10. So you don't know that, get on the website and buy a ticket for the Southampton-Leicester FA Cup match, because we want to boost that stadium up and win the game and go through to the next round and hopefully get a Premier League side at home. But anyway, thanks everybody. I will be back, and like I say, like, subscribe, and yeah, comment. Come on, you Reds.